So the Oscars just happened last night, and I'm here to talk about them because I have nothing better to do, and nothing in theaters looks that good. Especially that awful-looking Rebel Wilson Isn't It Romantic movie. But if you don't know what the Oscars are, more specifically the Academy Awards, more specifically the 2019 Academy Awards, more specifically the 2019 Academy Awards that aired on February 24th, 2019. The Academy Awards, if you don't know, which I don't know why you'd be watching this video, much less this channel if you didn't, but if you don't, the Academy Awards are an annual award show hosted by Hollywood Elite, where the Hollywood Elite can give the other Hollywood Elite awards for being better than everyone else. And it's that simple.
Halle Berry in Monsters Ball.
They hand out awards for categories in different types of filmmaking, like Best Cinematography, Best Editing, Best Sound Design, Best Acting, Best Actress, Best Directing, Best Picture, and so on. There's all kinds of awards for the best of whatever, and that's essentially what the Academy Awards do. They hand out awards to themselves for how great they are, and every single year, everyone gets upset about them because they don't do any good movies any justice. And at this point, it's sort of like a running meme, because the Academy Awards never do any good movies justice. They don't like horror movies. They never nominate horror movies, in fact. They don't like fantasy movies. They barely like sci-fi movies. They barely like comic book movies. It's usually just dramas and English dramas. It's very, very simple. The Oscars don't like a lot of types of film. The best films of this year were actually the types of films that the Oscars don't typically like. This year was ripe for strange indie movies, and that is not what the Oscars are here for. So this year, the Oscars were not only incredibly underwhelming in their picks, but they were plagued by disaster, we'll say. Throughout the whole year, the Oscars have had mess up after mess up after mess up, and backlash after backlash after backlash. They first wanted to do a Best Popular category where they could give an award for the Best Popular movie. Everyone hated that, so they retracted it. Then they wanted to give awards during commercial breaks, and everyone hated that, so they didn't do that. Then they were gonna have only 2 of the 5 Best Original Songs perform live, because they always do all 5, and then Lady Gaga got pissed and a whole bunch of other people got pissed, so they said, we'll do all of them, except for the Kendrick Lamar song, because Kendrick never performs for anybody. But then we had the whole Kevin Hart thing, when he was going to be the host, and then he had a whole bunch of tweets from 10 years ago get dug up for like the 4th or 5th time, and he retracted out of the Oscars after they said that you have to apologize or you're not going to be the host. So it's just problem after problem after problem with the Oscars, and everyone expected this to be a complete dumpster fire, even me, and I'll say it was better than I expected. Honestly, the Oscars without a host actually went off a lot better than I would have expected it to. The time was cut down quite a bit, which was nice. They didn't have awful skits and intermediate like song breaks or Jimmy Kimmel throwing things at random people in A Wrinkle in Time screenings.
Now, who would like a hot dog? Does anyone want a hot dog? All right, let's fight. Do not aim the hot dogs at the vegetarians. Oh, there you go. Ansel, go ahead, fire that thing into the crowd.
Or BB-8 rolling on stage. They cut out a lot of the fat, and that was actually kind of refreshing to see, but that's really the only praise I'll give to the Oscars this year, aside from them handing out awards to movies like Roma and The Favorite, of which there were very few. And those were really the only 2 movies that deserved to be here and get as many nominations as they did. Both of those movies got 10 nominations, and then you had other movies like Black Panther that got 7, so that is where I kind of want to focus here, and to kind of share with you my disinterest in the Oscars and then overall dissatisfaction with them. Despite having some things that I legitimately liked about them, it was more or less a normal Oscars with dissatisfying picks and even more unsatisfying winners. So I have the list right here on my phone, and we're just gonna go through some of the more egregious wins and more of the good wins and what I think about both of these things. So let's start off with a category I think they actually got right. Best Cinematography. Roma ended up walking away with this award, and I couldn't be more happy with that. I think it was the best nominee in this category by far. Alfonso Cuarón is his own cinematographer, his DP, and what he did with this movie is nothing short of outstanding. Every shot of this movie is so meticulously well designed. There are some incredibly long takes that go on for way longer than you'd think that they would, but it never feels flashy. Every shot that is a long, unbroken take just is like observing things that are happening, so you never get the sense that the movie is trying to show off. It's just trying to show what's happening around our characters in a realistic way, and breaking from the take may have had less of an effect, and I really love that. And the black and white works really well. Every shot is composed incredibly well. Even the opening shot of this movie, the title card shot, is so impressive and layered and detailed. It's just outstanding. The cinematography is by far the best out of this category. Roma definitely deserved it. So you did something right. You did at least one thing right so far, Oscars. So let's look forward to these other categories. The next category that I want to address is a not good category, and that is sound editing and sound mixing. Now, I don't know the prerequisites that the Oscars uses to nominate and choose their winners in these categories, and I honestly don't think that they know what their own prerequisites are, but Bohemian Rhapsody winning for both of these categories is nothing short of insulting to pretty much every other nominee in these categories. If you look at any other of the nominees, they're probably more deserving than Bohemian Rhapsody, and two I can think of off the top of my head are not only probably more deserving, they're definitely more deserving, because you have movies in this category like First Man.
Ignition sequence start.
Roma. Again, Roma is far more deserving in both of these categories than Bohemian Rhapsody is. If you listen to Roma with headphones on, as I would urge you to do, as I'm about to play a clip from Roma, the sound editing, the sound mixing, the sound design in general is so much more impressive than Bohemian Rhapsody is. In almost every scene, in almost every circumstance, and in every way. The sound design of Roma uses surround sound in a way that very few movies do, and in a much better way than Bohemian Rhapsody does. Bohemian Rhapsody mostly is just bland, uninteresting, formulated sound design. If you can do that, Bohemian Rhapsody did that. The sound design compared to every scene of moon landing, of Apollo launches, of space travel is so much more detailed, impressive, and interesting to listen to than any scene, especially the best scenes in Bohemian Rhapsody. So, disagree, completely, disagree. Bohemian Rhapsody shouldn't have been nominated for this category, period. But if you know anything about the Oscars, you would know that the sound editing and the sound mixing category is always dominated by these types of movies. They love movies that are either biopics or war movies. And since there wasn't any good war movies this year, just throw in a biopic about Freddie Mercury. That'll be fine. I mean, we had The Revenant win. You throw in that, it's a biopic. Yeah, we had Hacksaw Ridge win and Dunkirk, the war movies. This is what the Oscars do. It's not surprising that Bohemian Rhapsody beat out movies like Roma and First Man. It's just disappointing, as it always is. Another bad category I want to talk about also features Bohemian Rhapsody, and that is film editing. This is unbelievable that this movie won film editing. There's a meme going around the internet right now of this film and its editing. There's a scene, as I will show you now.
Fred, I've got to make an impression, darling. You look like an angry lizard. It's your best friend. Very subtle. Far away. Can I borrow it for Sunday church?
As you can see from this scene, not only is it just edited so poorly, it's over-edited. Somehow this scene of 4 or 5 people talking is over-edited. There is an edit almost every few seconds, and it is so much more obvious, which again is what the Academy Awards loves, but it is so much worse than a movie like The Favorite. If we take a clip like this from The Favorite, as you can see, the editing in this scene isn't anything special, it's not anything crazy, it's not anything in your face, but it's simple and it's effective. You understand what's happening, you can see what's going on, you understand the relations of the characters to each other, you understand the space that they're in, and it doesn't overcrowd the scene with its editing. You can watch the scene, get what's happening, and then the scene ends. And that's all it needs to be. But no, Bohemian Rhapsody has the most obvious and overburdening editing, so give it to them, okay. And last but not least, I want to talk about Best Picture. Now this one doesn't necessarily fall in the good or the bad camp for me, but it falls again in the obvious camp for the Oscars because Green Book was the winner for Best Picture, and not only is it not the best movie in the category, it's also not the worst in the category. I would have been more upset if Bohemian Rhapsody or Vice had won this award, but it's also the most inoffensive and safe in this category, which by itself may make it the worst pick, because again, the Oscars love very specific things. They love biopics, they love war movies, and they love when white people learn about racism. And that is pretty much everything that Green Book is. It's not a war movie, obviously, but it is a biopic, and it is about a white person learning about racism. And that's really all the movie adds up to being. There's really nothing special about Green Book. It's not particularly well written, it's not particularly well shot, it's very well acted, and that's really the only thing that has going for it, because the story isn't that interesting, it's done to death, it's cliche, and the characters really aren't even that interesting. It's just a predictable, by-the-numbers, safe movie. And that's exactly what the Oscars kind of are looking for right now. A sort of predictable, safe, by-the-numbers movie so that they won't get a lot of backlash. Problem is, they picked this movie and it's getting a lot of backlash. For me, I'm just upset that it's not The Favorite or Roma, because those two movies are so much better than this movie. But also, what did we expect? This is exactly what the Oscars love to pick, and this is exactly what we should have seen coming. The Green Book is the perfect Oscar movie. It's Oscar bait. That's why there's literally a term for this kind of movie. It's a specific kind of movie made to appeal to the Academy Award Board. I didn't like that sentence at all. But that's it. That's all I want to talk about. There's really not much in the way of good winners this year. There are a few categories that the favorite won for and the Roma won for, but they also won the ones that you would pick the Academy to give to them. They're very obvious picks, so there's really not much I could say about them other than that I was happy to see Roma win Best Foreign Language, because it was the best, or the favorite win, what did it win? Costume? No. It won something. I can't, hold on. What did he win? Oh, Best Actress for Olivia Colman. She was great, so I'm very happy to see her win. She had a great speech, too, so very happy to see that, but...
Ooh, it's genuinely quite stressful. This is hilarious. Go on, Oscar. Okay.
Overall, again, it's just an obvious Oscars, a very unsatisfying and disinteresting Oscars, just like it is every year. It's nothing to really get that upset about, because this is exactly what you should expect to see every year. The only fun that I have watching the Oscars is inviting friends over and trying to predict what movies will win, and then having a prize at the end for whoever guesses the most right. That's the only entertainment I get out of the Oscars at this point. Yeah, that's it. That's the 2019 Academy Awards recap from your boy, Rendan Lovell. I'm gonna drink my apple juice and be on my way with my day.